name's Steve, and today I'll be going over the Bandai Tamashii Nations Gundam Universe Wave 1 figures of the RX-78 version, well, number 2, Wing Gundam, and Unicorn Gundam. Main reason I picked these guys up because I'm just a big fan of Gundam. I actually don't have a version of the RX-78 in my collection, so I thought this would be a really solid, especially for 25 bucks. Seemed good at the time. We have the Wing Gundam, which is probably from my second favorite Gundam series of all time. Plus, sweet looking mech. I got a few versions of Wing Gundam in my collection already. And the Unicorn Gundam, because since I got the two, I just kind of ordered the wave as a set. That looks cool. Still haven't really attempted to watch this. I think I watched like part of the first episode and then moved on to other things because I had stuff to do. So hopefully get around to that one. You can let me know in the comment section below if it's actually worth checking out. But for the most part, just picked it up because I thought it just looked neat. I'm actually kind of hoping they get into the G Gundam with this because I need me some windmill Gundams. Or like the mermaid Gundam. There's so many options there. But what's kind of cool is we're actually getting more of the Wing Gundams with some of the later waves. And they're actually going to like 8th MS team. And there's like the new Gundam coming out too, which I actually really like that one. So, kind of want to support the line to make sure that we get some more of the random Gundams, especially like the 8th MS Team Gundam is actually pretty freaking sweet to get. But anyways, without further ado, further packaging, kept the Unicorn Gundam mainly in the box because, again, don't really know that one. So, it was the one I was like, I guess I can wait to play with that one until the actual review comes out. But you guys can see, actually looks really sweet. For the most part, I actually like these guys sort of in their boxes because you get this like really fancy art on the front of it. Also has the Tamashii stamp. Want to make sure to look for those in case of bootlegs. Not sure if you'd actually get bootlegs of these because of how inexpensive they are. Possibility though, so make sure to look out for that. But anyways, the art makes the packaging stand out really well. So if you're somebody that likes to collect these guys in the packaging, I actually sort of like these more than the Robot Spirits, and especially at the price point too. Because, like, if you're not playing with them, what's the point? So, like, you can see the figure inside of the package. You get your kicks out of it. Side of the package, you just get a nice shot of the Gundam. Opposite side just has the name, number of the line. Back of the package just shows them in some dynamic poses. Other figures in the line. And some legal mumbo jumbo here on the bottom with more Unicorn Gundam. Just show you guys the other packaging, because I kind of got them set them down on the floor, too. You guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, where each of them kind of have the illustrations on the front, which look fantastic. So for the most part, like, I almost kind of want to keep them in the box, but since we're a review channel, and I do like to play with me some toys, let's get this guy opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now that we got him opened up out of their cardboard prisons, first and foremost, we're going to start with Unicorn Gundam here, and then we'll move on to the other ones. But with its accessories. This one actually comes with quite a bit. First and foremost, on the forearms here, you get some beam sabers hiding in here, which is kind of cool. It gives you like extra little storage space for them. It comes with these two extra ones, which are slightly different in design. Again, I haven't really watched this show, so for the most part, I don't know the distinguishing differences between some of these weapons, but you can kind of see the backs of these ones are a little different, but these beam sabers can peg up here, these little spots here for some extra storage. It's kind of one thing I like on the RX-78 too. Then they're a little bit pulsable too, so you got the beam sabers kind of just hanging out. Also popping this one back out. There is one here on the opposite side too, but it comes with these little added beam effects, which you do get two, which you can use for the beam sabers. It's a little bit hard to get in there, but you guys can see you get your lightsaber battles on with your Gundams. Well, lightsaber battles. Also, you can also use these beams for the ends of the guns too. If you want to have it look like it's shooting a laser out, which is really sweet. Also for the gun, pretty nice looking. Like in terms of like detailing, there's a lot of intricate mold. Because in terms of detailing, there's a lot of intricate mold linings. For the most part, color variety is kind of bleh, which is something you're going to find to be a common theme on most of these Gundams. But detailed really nicely. Then you have the gigantic shield here, which trying to figure out which one's which. And this one's for the shield, which has these little nubs here. Just pop that in, and then this part will hook onto the arm. And then it comes with this extra little bottom piece, which I'll show you. What this is for is if you have a Tamashii stand, you can hook this down here, and then that gives you some added posability for your mech, so you can have it above the ground if you really wanted to. But you have to purchase those separately. But it's still kind of cool. It comes with a little attachment in case you have any of those laying around in order to use with it. Which all the Gundams come with that one. This looks like it probably hooks in like so. Haven't messed around with it too much, but I do see a little peg hole there, so feels like that attaches into there. So now you have your Gundam with its fancy schmancy shield, with a little bit of red, some white, some gunmetal towards the back here. Really nice looking design. Then you also get a pair of trigger hands. Well, more like beam saber hand, trigger hand. Which, to swap these out, you grab at the base of the forearm. Then you just pop the hand out. Pretty simple stuff to do. Grab your trigger hand, push it in, and then... Now, some of the robot spirits, because the detailing can be hard, you can sometimes pop the handles out and stuff. These ones, not so much, but what's kind of nice about these Gundams is they use a lot more softer material, so the hands on these are actually pretty pliable. Same with like on the back here too. You don't have to worry about like this snapping off as much because it's a little more flexible than you would generally expect to see. Sadly enough, they didn't use that for the head, but beam looks cool. I just realized that there's a little bit of green painted there for the sight. So for the most part, for accessory wise, this thing's actually pretty awesome, especially at the price point. Can't really complain about that too much. And then moving into the rest of the Gundam real quick, gonna kind of glance over the detailings a little bit on these, just to kind of speed this review up a little bit. But for the most part, head sculpt and just like the mold in general on these guys look really awesome. Because you can see there's a lot of panels and detailing in like each of the little crevices. Like the backpack actually looks pretty awesome on this. But one thing that's kind of a common trend between all these ones is they got a lot of really nice molded detailing, but pretty much like absolutely zero panel lining. So there's not much that really helps to make the detailing stand out. For this one, it's pretty much a lot of really light gray with the red here for a lot of the intersectionings. The only real color difference is mainly for the head here. You get some extra paint for the eyes, some gold on the front of the crest here, but the back of the crest is just that really light gray plastic. But for the most part, like, to me, these kind of remind me, in terms of the way the color variety is, kind of like an unfinished model kit. Like, you got a really nice model kit, put it together, and then called it a day. You're like, all right, we're done here, and just put it on your shelf and walked away. That's kind of what these figures seem like. A little bit better granite, because you do get like some little reds here for the cannons on the shoulders and what have you. And like I said, I don't think like straight out of the package you generally get a backpack that looked that good. But with some like panel lining work and stuff, like this guy could really pop. But again, kind of at the price point, I'm not expecting a crap ton, because for the most part, they still kind of retain a decent amount of their articulation compared to the robot spirits, and even just compared to most action figures, like these guys are still pretty posable. And actually, I'll just get into that now. One thing I will mention is you have to pop this part onto it from the packaging, as this isn't actually attached on originally, but pretty easy to pop on. It's also a little bit flexible too, which is nice. But for the articulation, for the most part, I'm going to go over the articulation for this one, and then for the other two Gundams, if there's anything that really pops out, I'll bring it up there. But for the most part, they're fairly similar. But for the heads, can look a little bit, well, I guess a decent amount to left and right. Just got to watch out if you have the beam sabers back here, that they will smack into it. But a little bit to left, to the right, forward, back motion. You also got a joint at the base of the neck as well. So a lot of play at the head. Arms can go up about that far, down about that far, forward, back, pretty much all the way around. You also get rotation at the shoulder joint here, and also at the actual shoulder at the base. The armor plating section here moves. Looks like double jointed elbows. Not the craziest of bends, but decent. Rotation at the hands. Also wiggle the hands a bit. At the chest, a little bit of side to side. Decent forward and back. No real rotation there though. Legs can go outwards about, if I get that shield out of the way anyways, outwards pretty much full splits. Inwards about that far. Decent forward kick. Decent back kick. Rotation at the top of the thigh. Double jointed knee. So decent amount of play there as well. And also at the feet. You can move them side to side. A little bit forward. A little bit back. This plate actually shifts around on its own as well. So you do get like a remarkable amount of articulation for these guys, which is something I wasn't quite expecting. Same with the shield here too, because you have that little ball joint there. You get a decent amount of play as well, which is something I was surprised to see. So for the most part for this guy, paint job could maybe have been a little bit more exciting, but it's doable. It's serviceable for this version anyways, at least from what I've seen from pictures. Then the accessories are actually really awesome for this one as well. So this guy definitely gets a solid pass. Now for the Wing Gundam here. I will say that in terms of accessories, it's probably the worst out of the three. In terms of just like the variety that you get. For the most part, you get the shield here. Which just attaches to, you can have him actually holding onto it, and then it attaches to the forearm right here. But with this one, it's pretty much fixated on there, so you don't get really any extra play with this one. But for the most part, like in the anime, it's not like it really rotates around anyways, which is fine. You also get the beam cannon here, which looks nice. You get a little bit of extra gold on the bottom of the gun here, but for the most part, the rest of it's just this standard gunmetal, but a lot of really nice molded detailing there for the gun, just like what we saw with the Unicorn Gundam. You also get an extra pair of hands. You get the clenching ones out of the packaging, which is kind of what I'm holding here, if you guys can see. And then the gripping ones that he's currently using. And then the little crotch piece for if you have extra Tamachi X stands laying around. Just like the other one, exact same way of pegging into it. But where this guy kind of, I feel like, excels compared to the other ones is in terms of the color variety. This one I feel like requires the least amount of effort if you want to try to make this look a little bit more, I guess just like fancy in a way. You want to make it look a little more expensive, add some panel lining. This guy's definitely probably the best looking out of the package in terms of just like color variety, because you get a lot more of the golds here on the body. You get the green here for the little centerpiece section. Head's got a lot more color variety too, with some of the reds here for the top of the crest and for his chin. Eyes definitely stand out a lot more as well, and you get some coloring there for the vents on the cheeks. For the most part, nothing else. Like the gun paneling, well, the little gun cannons on the heads didn't get painted. One thing is, like, you take a little bit of a Gundam marker to this guy, like, pretty stellar. Same with, like, you'd have to attach the wings from the inside the packaging. But they're pretty easy to pop on. They're just little ball joints that hook into here. One thing that's, I guess, a little sad is I don't think these really line up that well. Which kind of sucks. At least I don't think anyways. Nah, these guys weren't quite designed. Because you can kind of fold them in to make them look right. But that part kind of pops out. What's kind of sad though is you can't get them really into like the flying pose as you saw in the TV show. Just popping this off real quick. Because this would have to like hook him back here if I'm not mistaken. Which is weird because like the little claws here are articulated. Which I imagine a lot of that has to do with the actual articulation for the figure. So if you want to bend the elbow, you can adjust this, which is nice. But for the most part, You don't get like any of the added little extra features like you would see on the Robot Spirits. But like I said, you can see even with like the guns off, like the wings are done really nicely. You get some extra little color variety with the gold, the whites, the reds on the back here. For the most part, legs are pretty basic looking, but a little bit of black here and there. Same with the thrusters on the back. Has little red shoes. So again, just to reiterate, easily the best looking out of the three in my opinion. He's just like by himself, he'll definitely stand out in a crowd. For the articulation, the only real extra things compared to the other one is the arms kind of like go up a little bit higher, and the head has a little bit more range of motion. Can also rotate the waist a little bit more on this, but primarily it's the wings back here. But primarily you have the wings back here, which is the added little thing that the Unicorn Gundam didn't have, but you get a lot of play out of this thing here as well. But other than that, pretty much mostly the same as what we got with the Unicorn. And then finally for my boy, the RX-78-2. The one I was most excited about, again, didn't actually have a version of this one. Which, getting him out of the package, it throws me off that his little crest there is not gold like the other ones. But the white seems accurate. Face looks great though. Detail on the face looks nice. For the most part, I feel like the figure has a really nice variety in the coloring as well. Like for the legs are basic, arms are kind of basic, but that's pretty much how he was in the anime for the most part. Same with on the back, you get a little bit of color variety with some of the yellow here as well. And just like the other ones, has really nice paneling for a lot of the armoring to really give it that nice mech look. So there's definitely a decent amount of like lining for like shadowing to catch on to, which is great. One thing I know one of my buddies was telling me about, I haven't really noticed too much, but you do get like the nub cuts from the molds here, which is like standard toy stuff, but it's definitely not the cleanest. That's why I've pointed out on the ones. For the most part, these guys just kind of remind me of like really nice model kits again that you just assembled, didn't bother cleaning up, and just put them on the shelf, called it a day. God, that's like 10-year-old me, like back in the day. I was like, Gundams assembled, we're good to go. And then eventually I lost parts, and then we started combining Gundams, and it was a horror show. Anyways, for his accessories, he comes with the beam gun here. What's kind of cool is like this is actually articulated for the sight, so you can adjust that if you want to. He comes with his own pair of beams if you want to use them for the beam sabers, or you can also attach this to the gun here. Goes right in the barrel there. One thing I will say though, going back to the Wing Gundam real quick, is it does have a hole there, but it's, at least on that one, it's too small to actually fit the beam into. Which I kind of wish they would actually give you the option anyways, because like you get a bunch of beams, so you might like let you play around with them a little bit. Especially like you can use the extra beam sabers if you wanted to for your Wing Gundam. But you get the shield on this side here, which actually looks really nice. Like I really like this little cross shape here with the yellow paint job here. This kind of hooks on just like you saw with the Wing Gundam here, where this is attached to his forearm. Doesn't attach as securely, but decent enough. And then you get a little bit of articulation. I also like too that they actually detailed the undersectionings of the shield, even though you don't get any like the panel lining and whatnot, but they put the effort in, which is nice to see. So if you guys wanted to spend a little extra time with the action figure once you got it, like the mold's there. Then it also has these two beam sabers on the back, which just pop into the thruster packs here. But for the most part, detailing is nice. Articulation, I think, is pretty much the same. Like you get a little bit more of a forward crunch on this one than some of the other ones. A little bit side to side. Head, I feel like, has the best range of motion on this one. Like you get a lot of play with the RX-78 head. Yeah, pretty much legs. Mostly same, double joints. I think this one actually has single jointed elbows, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's double jointed, if you will. But the way the mold is, you don't get quite as much play with the elbows here. But still, more than I was expecting. Now we're gonna start with some fancier comparisons. Well, fancier comparisons. anyways, because we need a NECA and a Monstars compared to them, because some people that might be wanting to get the RX-78 here because they saw Ready Player One might want to know how it compares next to some of your standard Godzilla figures, which what we have here is the bootleg 2014 with the nice darker color variation, and my custom SH Monstars Marvel / DC comic Godzilla. And here they are, what I would consider next to the standard bearer of Gundam action figures, the Robot Spirits figures, with Heavy Arms Kai, anyways, and the Wing Gundam. And here they are next to some Soul Shigoken mechas with Gigantor and Evangelion Unit 0. And speaking of Evangelion, here they are with the Robot Spirits Evas with Unit 2 and Unit 1. And because I got them in, here they are next to some Figma figures with some Konosuba ones, with Cosmo, who just got released, and Aqua. Actually, you know what? This is a pretty useless comparison. And finally, here they are next to some Revoltech mechas with the Blade Liger from Zoids and Anubis from Zone of the Enders. So overall, with the Gundam Universe figures from Bandai Tamashii Nation, these things are great. For the price range of about like 25 bucks a piece, I don't think it can really do much better for a Gundam action figure. Because even for a lot of these as Robot Spirits, you're looking at spending like 40-50 bucks, which granted, you get a little bit better color variation on those and articulation, usually accessories, but for double the price, is it worth it to some people, especially if you're not like that into Gundam? Because for someone like me, I really like certain shows, and I like the designs of a lot of mechs. But I don't want to be spending like 50-60 bucks a mech to kind of fixate my obsession. But for 25 bucks, I'm not hesitant on picking these guys up whenever I see them in stores. Then you can also just think of these guys as pretty simple model kits. So if you guys like to paint your Gundam model kits when you guys get them in anyways, these guys definitely are great options. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up the Gundam Universe figures, what's your favorite Gundam series? There's Mazda, which more you think, please let us know in the comments. We also have Pinterest, Instagram, Patreon, and Facebook. If you guys like to keep up to date with the channel, make sure to go follow those. And if you guys want to help donate, definitely would appreciate that. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.